an encouraging sign for those, as you've been saying, are looking for the rally to broaden out.
Does it get any better than this? Inflation below expectations, wages in line. I mean, and Sarah's right. She's always right. We're getting broadening out of the market. Well, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. We're getting broadening out of the market. Take a look. I just want to show you some of the major indexes. I don't normally put up the Russell 2000. But look, it's one of the leaders today. When was the last time you saw that happening? That's broadening out of the market when the Russell 2000 is in the top of the major sector leaderboard. S&P 500, we close here, and I use closing prices, not intraday. That's a new high, 52-week high for the S&P. That's a 52-week high for the NASDAQ. Closing, if we close right here. Dow Industrials is just a little bit shy of a 52-week closing high, but we could do it today. So the big thing is the broadening out of the market. Let me just show you some of the sectors. You see, we're going into earnings, right? Traditionally, banks start selling off going into earnings season. No, we're holding up. And then banks have been a leadership group this week. Semi's been a leadership group all year practically, so that's not surprising. But we've seen metals and mining. There's a cyclical group that hasn't done very well. Leadership group. Energy, another group not doing well. Leadership group now all of a sudden. Oil's over $75. Consumer staples are lagging. Healthcare is lagging. Let me tell you why this is good. You do not want defensive sectors like healthcare and consumer staples being on top of the leadership board when you've got a soft landing scenario, because those are defensive stocks. You want other sectors like cyclicals to lead. That's exactly what's happening here. So we are getting a broadening out, and the soft landing scenario is actually coming to be. New high list is not terribly expansive. This goes to the fact that tech stocks have been so dominant, but we have a persistent group of big global industrials, the names I love: General Electric, Eaton, Ingersoll Rand, Illinois Tool Works, Packard, Carrier, Fastenal. These companies make all the stuff behind the walls. They make the pumps, and they make a lot of the tools that run the entire world here, the real physical manufacturing part of the global economy. They're at new highs. Smattering of other groups at new highs. J.P. Morgan, remember, earnings on Friday, that's a new 52-week high for them. That's a good sign. Again, not selling off going into earnings season, which is typical. MasterCard and Visa at new high. A lot of the airlines, Delta, Alaska, American Airlines, also 52-week highs. So turn this around a little bit. I just want to show you stuff near new lows. United Health is going to be reporting on Friday. We could close at a 52-week low today. So remember, besides being defensive, a little out of favor, a lot of high utilization rates in the healthcare sector, particularly the sector that United Health is in, and that's putting a lot of pressure on their overall numbers here. As for where we are on the markets now, the story is pretty simple right now. It's coming on Goldilocks. Inflation is cooling. That's what everybody was looking for. There are some signs the rally is broadening out. We have seen this before and been disappointed, but at least in the last few days, that is in fact happening. 2023 earnings, we're going to talk a lot about this in the next week. The bottom line is that they are steady. There is no cliff where all of a sudden earnings are going to fall down in the second half of the year. But Sarah, valuations are now the issue. So what's been happening is the prices have been going up, but the earnings have been stable. So PE ratios going really high. We have, depending on how you look at it, forward multiples of 19 to 20 times on the S&P 500. That's not only not a recession, that's expansion. That's economic expansion kind of multiples. And that's going to be the problem. So next week, let me tell you what's going to happen. We could see companies reporting they beat and they don't move forward because of the valuation problems. That's going to be the story next week. You watch. And we've had some early reporters that have had great numbers, and the stocks don't go up. And I think that's the problem. The valuation ceiling is going to be the major discussion.
Yeah, a strong setup, no doubt. So Bob.